Welcome to A Peek Inside. I'm Matthew Teskey, a student at the Broadcasting Electric Media Department at Pikes Peak State College. This program takes you inside the events, careers, and lives of people in and around the Pikes Peak region. Our guest today will be Amanda Miller. She is a cosplayer who goes by Killer Cutie Cosplay, and she's currently in charge of the cosplay guests for SoCo Comic-Con. So, how are you doing today?
Good, yourself?
Doing pretty good. Actually, we're going to kind of go a little bit off script here. What are you currently dressed up as?
I'm currently dressed as Ash from The Evil Dead, which is one of my all-time favorites. Everything between the chainsaw and the hand was all completely handmade by me and my dad.
That's so really cool. Alrighty, so kind of getting into our first question here. What exactly are the details to what you were doing for SoCo Comic-Con?
So I've worked for SoCo Comic-Con about 3 years now. It's a little horror family con out in Pueblo. It's really nice. I've done things like help run the cosplay contest, help select guests for the event. I also did special effects demonstrations and help teach kids how to kind of grow into their horror aspects of life.
That's so cool. What other cons have you been to in the past?
Oh, goodness. So I have been to a lot of cons. I'm really excited. I actually have one coming up in the next month. I'll be going to Texas Frightmare, which is one of the bigger horror cons in the States.
That's so cool. If you could work for other cons in the area, or just any cons in general, which ones would you want to work for?
Well, I would definitely want to work for Frightmare, doing special effects artistry. I think that'd be really fun. The big one would definitely be San Diego Comic-Con, but that's a long way to go.
Alrighty. What else do you do in the area cosplay-wise?
So I do events as a mermaid, as a princess. I've run a couple of different things, just kind of helping kids, and I've swim in pools for kids as a mermaid, and I've done princess tea parties and story times, a lot of fun stuff.
That's really cool. And then would you say on average per, let's say a month, how often do you cosplay?
Oh goodness, so I would say I cosplay at least once a week. I got very lucky, and my husband is a photographer, so he has his hands full taking photos all the time.
That's so cool. Kind of keeping on track with that, kind of going back to the cosplay stuff that you do in the area, are there any other things that you've done when it comes to just dressing up and doing that? Like any really cool events that stuck out?
Oh yeah, I've done things like car shows where I've been a mermaid while hot rods drove through. I have worked and helped comic book shops out before. I've worked for a couple of different conventions swimming as a mermaid and doing the kids contest as a princess. Right now I currently make my own Necronomicons to sell at conventions.
That's really cool. Unfortunately, that's all the time that we have for this segment. So we're going to go to a quick break, and then we will continue talking about more of this.
After you joined our family, it was like, I really do feel complete now.
What do you think you're doing, Kevin?
Was just gonna drive home.
There are several warning signs present that you shouldn't be driving.
Like hearing voices?
Like your text-to-emoji ratio?
Oh man, the selfies. Selfie, nailed it.
We all have warning signs that let us know that we're probably not okay to drive. Mine is pretending to be your subconscious.
Craig, come on man, let's split a ride home.
Play Eric Amarola's Race Day Mix.
When I was growing up, my mom was extremely tidy. We were trained to put things back where we got them from. One day, when I walked into my mom's house, I felt like I walked to someone else's house. There was stuff everywhere, and just growing up the way I grew up and to see this transition was very alarming.
When Sean talked to me, it was a wake-up call, and that's when I went to the doctor.
Welcome back to A Peek Inside. I'm Matthew Teske from the Broadcasting Electronic Media Department at Pikes Peak State College. We're joined today by Amanda Miller, also known as Killer Cutie Cosplays, and we're going to continue with our questions. So, next one I have lined up for you is, what got you started into the cosplay sphere?
So I started cosplaying when I was 13 years old. Both my parents saw that my love for horror and dressing up as a kid. They took me to my first ever convention where I got to meet Tony Todd. And I'm very lucky to have parents who were so encouraging of that, and it really grew into a whole thing to where even now my parents go to conventions with me all the time.
That's so really cool. Of all of the cosplays that you have done, which one would you say is your favorite?
Ooh. It's always so hard to tell because there's so many great ones, and it always kind of depends on the mood. But right now, probably Ash, and then I really like cosplaying Frankie from One Piece.
That's really, really cool. On average, about how much does each cosplay cost you to make?
Ooh, depends on the outfit. Could be anywhere from like $20 to $200. Junkrat was very expensive.
Kind of keeping on that train, how much did your current cosplay cost you? Because I see you are still dressed up here as Ash.
Yeah, so the chainsaw in the hand, luckily we already had filament, so I would say probably $30 to $50 for that. And the clothes were honestly just from a thrift store, and I ripped and bloodied them myself.
That's really cool. Alrighty, what cosplays are you currently working on, like ones that are current projects that you hope to have out soon?
Yeah, so right now I am working on Pyramid Head from the Silent Hill franchise. I've gotten the outfit done and the blade done, but right now I'm working on the head, hoping to get it done in the next few weeks, but we'll see.
That's really cool. What was your hardest cosplay to put together?
I would definitely say probably Junkrat, just because Junkrat was a lot of foam, it was a lot of my first sewing, and not only was the props just enormous, but it was also difficult because he has a peg leg, so I had to learn how to make a false foot and a false leg, which was definitely interesting.
That does sound pretty difficult, especially out of materials that aren't really meant to like support lots of weight.
Oh yeah, and a lot of it's super light. The gun and the ammunition is all 3D printed. The fake mine foot was 3D printed. Everything else was made out of foam. It definitely took a while just to put all together, but after the end I was super ecstatic by how it turned out, and I still use pieces of that outfit today, even though I made it I think like 4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah, that's still really cool. Kind of going off topic here again, how long did it take you to 3D print this chainsaw here?
So the chainsaw took a little bit longer. I would say it took at least 2 to 3 days to print just because we had to size it to make it bigger. I like compensating for how short I am by making my props as big as possible. So the chainsaw we had to scale to make it bigger and to make sure everything fit. So it took a little bit longer, but it was, I would say, roughly 3 to 4 days, including painting, priming, all that fun stuff.
Well, once again, that's really, really cool. Alrighty, so that's all the time that we have for this current segment, so we're going to head to break again, and then once we're done, we'll come back and ask you some more questions.
Awesome.
How prepared is your family if disaster shows up at your doorstep? You can't just turn away a natural disaster. That's why it's important to go to ready.gov/plan before they show up. It has the tools and tips you need to make an emergency plan with your family. So if disaster comes knocking,
let's go.
You'll be ready to help keep your family safe.
It's just a pizza.
Yes!
Make a plan today.
I am what hunger looks like in America.
I am an 8-year-old girl who's not excited for the last day of school. Because this may be the last time I'll have lunch. Till September.
I am a single father of 2 who works 3 part-time jobs, and that's still not enough to put food on the table. I was created by artificial intelligence from faces of the 1 in 8 Americans who struggle with hunger.
Feeding America, 200 food banks strong.
Sam, it's precise. No margin for error.
Dare to forget that. Dare to have fun with it. Get weird with it. Dare to send those old STEM theories flying past the neighbor's house into outer space. Dare to program something internet breaking, record breaking. Dare to blow their minds. Dare to learn the difference between sedimentary and metamorphic rock. Go find those rocks. Dare to keep daring. Dare to STEM. Check out She Can STEM.
Welcome back to A Peek Inside. I'm Matthew Teskey from the Broadcasting Electronic Media Department here at Pikes Peak State College. We're joined today by Amanda Miller, also known as Killer Cutie Cosplays, and we're going to continue with some questions we got for her. So, have you ever worked in cosplay groups before?
Oh yeah, I love doing group cosplays. It's super fun. It's a great environment to meet new people, to hang out with some old friends. Usually everybody afterwards or during the shoot or the meetup at the con, they'll grab food together. It's just a really good environment.
That sounds really cool. Kind of going off of that, when kind of creating cosplays, do you prefer to try to create one under like under a group, or do you prefer to try to make one for yourself and then try to incorporate that into a group?
So for me personally, it depends. Sometimes people will put up posts on their pages asking like, hey, we're looking to get this group together. Does anybody cosplay from that? And sometimes I'll do that where I'm like, oh, hey, you know, like I've been wanting to cosplay from that series. I'll go ahead, I'll get the outfit. Sometimes I'm just like dead set that this is the character I want to do and this is who I want to cosplay, and I'll do it, and then later on I find groups. That's how I ended up getting to do the Jack and Sally outfit that we're getting ready to get ready for Fan Expo.
That's really, really cool. When you do work for companies, what would you say the pay rate for that is?
So that's a difficult one. It's kind of different depending on which con you're going to, and sometimes when you guest for a con, what they'll do is they'll be like, oh, well, we'll give you the table for free. You can sell whatever you want at your table. We just require that you do a panel and you do that, and they'll cover your badge for the weekend. Sometimes some cosplay companies will like pay for your hotel. It kind of depends on who you're working for. For me personally, I usually get the booth for free, and I get the weekend pass for free and a pass for a guest, because usually my husband goes with me to help me set up and everything. Where a lot of people make their money is usually on what they sell at their booths. Like I said earlier, I do Necronomicons that I hand make myself, and that's usually where I make money at cons.
Alrighty. Have you ever turned down a cosplay suggestion?
Oh yeah, unfortunately, as fun as the community is, there are times where some people decide to use cosplay as a way to kind of be creepy about some things, and it's unfortunate, but it does happen. Luckily though, that's kind of like a small part of the community. A big part of it is just people who want to be nerdy with one another and meet people who have similar interests to them.
That's really cool. Where can people find you and get a hold of you if they do want to try to either get your works for like a prop that you make, or just use you to what's the word I'm looking for? What are your socials so people can like contact you if they're interested?
Yeah, so all of my socials are Killer Cutie Cosplay. If you need me for my email, it's killercutiecosplay@gmail.com, and feel free to reach out with questions or anything like that.
Alrighty, well, that's all the time that we have for today. Thank you so much for coming out and just kind of allowing us to interview you. I'd like to thank our guest, Amanda Miller, or Killer Cutie Cosplays. I'm Matthew Teskey in the Broadcasting Electronic Media Department. For more information on this program, it can be found at pikespeak.edu/BEM.